Ex-partyman Natwar Singh's memoirs, One Life Is Not Enough, to be released this weekend, threatens to pull off a shroud of leadership and good intent from Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Predictably, the excerpts hit the press. The Congress has reacted scathingly to what it calls a publicity stunt to boost sales. But could it just be sour grapes for a party that's seen one of its worst electoral routes in history? Natwar Singh, who was forced out of India's Grand Old Party after his name was linked to kickbacks in the UN oil for food scam, has detailed Sonia Gandhi's decision not to become Prime Minister in 2004. Not only does he call her a Machiavellian, an authoritarian politician, he makes similar allegations as the last tell-all book on the UPA government, Sanjay Baru's accidental Prime Minister, of files from the PMO being sent to the Congress President first for approval. Joining me to discuss this latest book from the Congress Party, Sanjay Jhas; from the BJP, Nalin Kohli joining us in the studio; Shrapan Das Gupta, a senior journalist and writer; Rashid Kidwai as well, senior journalist, associate editor of The Telegraph, who has also written a book on the Congress Party and Sonia Gandhi. I want to actually come first to Sanjay Jhas. Sanjay Jhas, Natwar Singh's book actually hasn't hit the stands. It's excerpts, and perhaps one would say what he said is not such a big deal. A son telling his mother, I don't want you to become Prime Minister because of the threat to your life. Why is the Congress reacting so badly to that?
No, I think the Congress is not at all reacting badly to a book whose content is very, very questionable. I think there are multiple other things he's mentioned. I think you quoted verbatim some of the terms he's used to describe the Congress president, which is highly derogatory, and his own, his own viewpoint. I think what we need to understand right at the very beginning, Maya, it's important, is that Mr. Natwar Singh was expelled by the Congress Party on charges of corruption on the oil for foods program, which was revealed in the Paul Volcker report. I think that let's put that in perspective. Number two, he has a strong, close relationship, a proximity with the BJP, which is palpable. His son is a BJP MLA from Rajasthan,
right,
and we all know that he's been using glowing tributes to predict the future of the country under the Prime Minister Mr. Modi regime. Also, look at his track record. That he has joined the BSP. He was expelled within 4 months for anti-party activities and making whatever they felt were outrageous statements. So his track record basically lowers his credibility. And this is a season of book launches. We've seen it pre-election. It continues. There are blogs being written by former people. Running down a previous dispensation or people that you worked with is a great strategy to market books. It's done in India, it's done worldwide, and I think he's trying to cash in on that.
Sanjay,
We discuss his, we completely, we don't want to even discuss it. We dismiss his statements as nothing but a figment of his own wild
fair
imagination.
Point, Sanjay Jhas. In fact, there is opinion that says that he's smarting from the way the Congress has treated him. This is a man who served the Congress Party for decades. In fact, I want to bring Rashid Kidwai in on this first. Rashid Kidwai, Sanjay Jhas making the point that some of the terms Natwar Singh has used for Sonia Gandhi derogatory. I know Niccolo Machiavelli is not going to be pleased about saying that someone likened to him is perhaps a derogatory person. He was an extremely strategic Italian historian.
That's true. Maya, I think, you see, that Congress is not able to, come up with a real defense. What Natwar Singh is saying about a particular event that happened in the presence of several people, including Dr. Manmohan Singh, Priyanka Gandhi and Suman Dubey, he's named some others. So, one of them should come out and say that what was it about, what was Rahul, what was that Priyanka or Rahul, whatever remarks that were attributed to Rahul Gandhi, what was the nature of it, how did he say it? All those things must be explained. You say, okay, it's politically motivated and he's that. Attaching motives is very simple thing. But Congress Party must explain. Because Maya, you remember, this is putting a real question mark over Sonia's that old claim of responding to inner voice, and that family is together. Rahul, Sonia, Priyanka, they are a very close knit group, and they take decisions collectively. I mean, the congressmen are really shocked. They didn't expect this.
Right. Okay. Well, Sonia Gandhi, in fact, has responded saying that she will also write her own book. We got a response from her earlier in the day on NDTV, in fact, where she said she will also tell her story. The truth will come out. Nalin Kohli, I know you wanted to get in when Sanjay Jhas was speaking, but really, in a sense, this idea that even the BJP is saying that, you know, the Congress is speaking for its ex-congressmen are sort of exposing the party in a sense. That's one of the comments coming from the BJP. I want to ask you, forget BJP Congress politics aside, why is it such a big deal that a son tells his mother, I don't want you to become a prime minister?
It's not a big deal. And if someone wants to, in a family talk among family members, that's expected. Whether it has any political connotations is separate. Let's get back to everything that the Congress spokespersons, including Mr. Jhas, is saying. They call Mr. Natwar Singh questionable. They say he's a man without credibility. They remind us that Mr. Natwar Singh was shown the door from the Congress party. They remind us of the circumstances. They say he's doing this to get closer to Mr. Modi. And Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, after years of estrangement, decides to go and have a cup of tea with Priyanka Gandhi at his residence. Why on earth is she doing that if all of the top is true? There has to be something. Mrs. Gandhi and Miss Priyanka Gandhi, they don't necessarily call on tea on others. So for what? If all of this is true, as Mr. Sanjay Jhas would like us to believe, then the fact that they went there is going to raise questions. Okay. Why did they go? And the second, the Congress party says he's doing it for publicity. Well, I think the only publicity that Mr. Natwar Singh got, which is highly credible, is the fact that Mrs. Gandhi went to his house for a cup of tea. Okay. And that's given the maximum publicity to this book.
I want to bring Shapan Das Gupta in on this as well. Shapan Das Gupta, Sonia Gandhi, who responded to this, has essentially said that she's serious about writing a book and that she can't be hurt. She's seen her mother-in-law riddled with bullets, her husband dead. She's also talked about how the ubiquitous they, can continue to hurt her as they please. She is used to these attacks. Again, the question is, if indeed this is being seen as this whole question of the inner voice, this exposing what some blogs have called the lie of renunciation in 2004, what kind of damage do you see this doing to the Congress party, which is really at its rock bottom right now?
Well, you see, there are two different issues involved. One is Sonia Gandhi writing a book. I mean, she's completely entitled to write a book. I believe that all politicians at the end of the day should write some account of their experiences, and I hope Sonia Gandhi's book enriches our knowledge of what took place in the UPA and what took place within the inner councils of 10 Janpad.
Right.
Now, the whole point which congressmen are getting very, very upset is this use of the term Machiavellian. Now, to my mind, that's a subjective judgment of Natwar Singh. We can agree with that, we can disagree with that. But it's got nothing to do with facts. It's an overall impression he has of the person he served for so long. Now, the larger question is, obviously, when someone says inner voice, there has to be a rationale behind what contributes to that inner voice. Any historian in future will say, well, inner voice doesn't come as a voice from God. It comes based on certain circumstances. And what Natwar Singh has done, that he has fleshed out those circumstances. The inner voice appears to be the packaging of a decision which has been taken based on considerations of security. And Rahul Gandhi's counsel that we should stay out of this. So later, when subsequently Rahul Gandhi in Jaipur was to say that Sonia Gandhi spoke about politics or office being the poison, I think if we read this inner voice, I think we have a far more mundane interpretation of what are the motives which drives a political family, and they don't appear to be that incredibly lofty as it's made out to be.
Right, and I think that's really at the heart of the debate, Sanjay Jhas, that the idea that what was projected as a lofty ideal at the time in 2004, the inner voice, the office being poison, etc., is really something much more human. And what's wrong with that? That's one. The second is, don't you think that when it comes to figures in contemporary politics, contemporary history, when books are being written, again, Nalin Kohli is making the point that Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi went and met Natwar Singh. He's talked about it. Nobody has come out with a denial of that meeting.
Maya, I'm going to answer your question, but I would request you to kindly ask my BJP friend and spokesperson Nalin Kohli later on when I'm done, as to if the BJP believes with such conviction the credibility of the book written by Mr. Singh, then I do hope that they should also discuss Manoj Mitta's book, a very well-respected journalist from the Times of India, whose book on the fiction of fact-finding on the role of Mr. Modi in the Godhra riots needs to be discussed, whether it has some very credible arguments that can,
But
actually
Mr.
and
Jha,
should be
they're two
debated all over the
completely
country.
different- they're two
Is he
completely
open for the
different
debate?
I'll answer it.
Let me answer your question now.
Yeah.
Let me answer. Now, I told you, Maya, I told you I will pose a question and I'll answer your question.
all right,
I
go
think
ahead.
it's very pertinent for you to know this, that the same Bharatiya Janata Party that is today debating Mr. Natwar Singh's comment on what Mr. Rahul Gandhi apparently said to the Congress president was of the view that actually the former president Dr. Abdul Kalam was reluctant to administer the oath of Prime Minister to Sonia Gandhi had she
Okay.
agreed to that.
All right.
This is the BJP on its own flip-flop mission just to prove a point. I want to make one last point.
Yeah, very quickly,
all
Sanjay
these
Jhas, very
allegations that have been made by Sanjay Baru as well as in this book, it is the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh himself who has categorically stated, and your channel has played it out today, that
Okay.
no files
All
ever
right.
moved
I think
between
we're
the Prime
digressing
Minister's
a little
office
bit
and
from
10
this
Jan
particular book.
So I think
Nalin
we should put these issues behind us.
All right, Nanko,
Three
very
very
quickly
short, quick
respond on
comments.
Nikita
Yeah,
Rashid
sure.
Kidwai. Yeah.
The first one is, Mr. Jha has no answer to what I asked. Why did Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi choose to go and meet a man they say discredited, shown the door, is so close to the BJP? I don't think, or unless that is some kind of a message we are to believe, that, if Mr. Natwar Singh is so close to Mr. Modi, perhaps Mrs. Gandhi wants to build bridges with Mr. Modi. Are they suggesting that? So, I mean, what is this? They don't have an argument. The second is about Manoj Mitta.
Give
We
me a
can
chance
also
to
discuss.
answer that later,
Let me
Maya.
finish. About Manoj Mitta, we can also discuss about his role in, how affidavits have to be given so that you can manage the legal process. We can do a full discussion whenever you want. We can also discuss, starting from Mein Kampf to fascism to 1975. I mean, as a student of history, no problem.
Okay, all
and
right.
the last comment is that, Mr. Jha, you added to the publicity of this book. I really didn't know whether I would like to read it. After Mrs. Gandhi went, I'm certainly getting a copy of it.
All right, let's go to Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, I want to ask you, you have written a book as well.
Good luck to you.
And-
Enjoy your reading.
All right, Sanjay Jhas. Rashid Kidwai, you've been writing as well on politics. You've written a book on Sonia Gandhi. You've dealt closely with the way the Congress reacts to people doing research on the Gandhis, on the history of the party. What do you make of this entire debate? Ultimately, whatever Natwar Singh may say about Sonia Gandhi, may not say about Sonia Gandhi, in our intellectual space, in our academic space, in our literary space, should there not be room for all kinds of writing? There, everything is full of truths, and some subjective, as Chopin points out, and some which are based in fact, but there has to be room for interpretation.
Absolutely, Baya. You see, the moment a book comes out, the Congress tendency is to first, kind of rubbish it or attach motives. I think that's not the Congress party that I know of. See, Natwar Singh was himself a literary advisor to Sonia Gandhi when he was active in Congress party, when Kathleen Frank's book had come up, and there was, look at the way they had handled Kapil Sibal and Natwar Singh. Both advised Sonia Gandhi, let's not go for, banning this book. This will not carry a good impression. All those things were there. The problem with Congress party is that they actually just try to go and try to defend the leadership, but leadership doesn't need any defense. The problem is, Natwar's problem is that he wanted to be Rashtrapati Bhavan. Today Pranab Mukherjee is in Rashtrapati Bhavan, as Arjun Singh wanted to be Prime Minister and Dr. Manmohan Singh became Prime Minister. They felt with Tiwari Congress and the kind of so-called sacrifices they made, they felt that Sonia Gandhi should have rewarded loyalty. Even lately, when Sonia Gandhi had met him, not this time but before, Natwar Singh wanted to join Congress party, and I assume there was resistance from Rahul Gandhi. So these are the internal dynamics of Congress party. If they had they'd set their house in order, I think Natwar Singh would have been a happy man, and this book would not have been all tell all as we are making
That's
out to be. And I also feel that Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi's visit to Natwar Singh has diluted some of the observations that Natwar Singh could have made.
Okay, that's an interesting point, in fact, that you're raising. Shwapan Das Gupta, I want to ask you, Rashid sort of also likens this to what happened in the Congress party when Kathleen Frank's book came out on Indira Gandhi. I know all of us have read that book and read it avidly. Now, should there not be room for all kinds of writing? These
Maya,
are historical figures ultimately.
Look.
Precisely. And Maya, that book is
Rashid,
very
just a
good.
second, I want Shwapan Das Gupta to
Because
come
as
in
you were
on
saying, it's a,
Look, please,
it's a
can I
subjective
answer?
interpretation
Yeah,
of contemporary politics.
Rashid, I asked Shwapan that question. I'll just come back to you, Rashid, in a second. Yes, Shwapan Das Gupta, carry on.
See, traditionally, the Nehru-Gandhi family has been extremely guarded in far as disclosing to the public what they consider to be their inner secrets. Even to this date, the private papers of Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi cannot be seen by any ordinary researcher except with the explicit permission of Sonia Gandhi. But here what we have is not a case of a researcher or a writer or a journalist or some investigative person or a colorful person like Kathleen Frank writing about it. We are here getting a version of what he sees as the truth by a person who was one of the actors in the entire drama. So a participant. Just as there would be a certain value attached to a disclosure by Manmohan Singh if he was to ever write his autobiography.
Right.
Similarly, I think we ought to treat Natwar Singh in a slightly different category
Right.
from people who have done objective and a certain detached research on Sonia Gandhi or anyone else.
Right.
So, this is an eyewitness account. This is someone from this own personal experience. Therefore, you are likely to give that much of extra importance to that version.